Once upon a time, in the heart of Aba, a popular commercial city in Abia State, Nigeria, lived a man called Uwa. Uwa was a very popular shoemaker in Ariaria Market, Aba. He had about 3 shops in the market where he made and sold all kinds of ladies' shoes. People from all over Nigeria came to buy shoes in large quantities, which they resold. Uwa was married to a very beautiful woman called Eru, and they both had 6 children together. Eru was a businesswoman who sold foodstuffs in their local market. Uwa and Eru lived very happily with their kids. They weren't so wealthy, but they were very comfortable and content. Many shoemakers in the same market with Uwa were fond of producing substandard goods. They used low-quality materials to produce shoes in order to make much gain, and this made them lose a lot of customers. So naturally, many people gravitated towards Uwa because he was known for his honesty and integrity in his shoe business. He would rather use quality materials to produce his shoes and make little gain than use cheap, fake and substandard materials and make more money. So when people noticed Uwa's shoes were very durable and lasted long, they patronized him more than his counterparts in the same business. This angered his colleagues so much, and a lot of them became very jealous of him. One afternoon, Uwa was resting in his shop after having worked non-stop for about 6 hours when he had a dream where somebody wearing a mask stabbed him in the stomach while whispering under his breath, "Come and produce shoes again, let me see." Uwa woke up immediately, screaming. He touched the spot where he had been stabbed in the dream, and to his utmost surprise, that place felt very painful to the touch. He said a short prayer and overlooked it, thinking it was just a bad dream. Little did he know that that day would mark the beginning of the worst days of his life. From that day onwards, Uwa felt pain occasionally in his stomach. Sometimes it felt like fire burning within him. Other times it was like a piercing pain. And sometimes it felt like a strange object kept moving inside of him. He went to the hospital to see a doctor, and after a series of tests showed nothing exactly wrong in his stomach, he was sent back home with a few medications. Then the major part. Uwa noticed that for days he couldn't poo. He initially thought it was mere constipation and would eat lots of fiber-rich foods and fruits, but they didn't help at all. He returned to the hospital to narrate the new symptoms he was experiencing, and once again, the doctors examined him but couldn't tell exactly what was wrong with him. He was given some laxatives and told to take enough fruits and water. However, his symptoms never improved. It was now 2 months and Uwa hadn't been able to poo, despite being on laxative and fruits. His stomach also started to swell, and the pain grew even more intense. He could no longer go to work due to the pain and discomfort in his stomach. He laid down on the bed all day, praying for a miracle. He left the management of his shop to his apprentices, but they couldn't handle the business, so it began to crash. Also, his frequent hospital visitations were consuming so much money that they had to sell off everything in his shops in order to continue his treatments. His wife, Eru, became the sole breadwinner of the family. With her little foodstuff business, she struggled to feed the family and carry every other family expense, including Uwa's hospital treatments. Soon, months went by and it clocked 1 year since Uwa fell mysteriously sick, and yet no solution had been found to his predicament. Eru carried her husband Owa to every hospital and prayer house people prescribed, yet there was little or no change. Uwa began to lose a lot of weight and could barely eat or talk. The family finances too were in shambles. Only Eru was saddled with the responsibility of caring for her sick husband and their 6 children. But Eru kept hope alive. She believed that one day God would heal her husband. In the 3rd year of Uwa's strange sickness, Eru was praying one night when she fell into a trance. She saw her husband being operated upon by a doctor wearing a sparkling white robe. It looked so real. She woke up from that dream and noticed a horrible smell all over the house. It was as if an animal had died and was rotting in the house. She wondered where the smell was coming from. She entered Uwa's room and was surprised to see her husband missing from the bed where he usually laid. It had been months since Uwa got up and walked on his feet, so where could he be? She searched for him all over the house and found him in the toilet, the same place the horrible smell was coming from. He was sitting in the toilet bowl, sweating profusely and doing number 2. Eru couldn't believe her eyes. She pinched her nose shut because of the smell and asked in shock, "Daddy, what are you doing and how did you get here?" Uwa replied her immediately, "My dear, I was sleeping when I suddenly felt this rumbling sound in my stomach and a strong urge to poo. It was like my tummy would explode if I didn't find the nearest toilet. I came in here and to my greatest surprise, I pooped for the very first time in 3 years. I can't believe this very smelly thing is coming out of me. The smell is terrible, but I am happy, very happy. Mommy, celebrate with me. I am healed." Eru too jumped up with joy. She couldn't believe the miracle she had prayed for years was finally here. She danced and danced. And like magic, Uwa's swollen stomach began to reduce, and over the next few days, Uwa began to recover fully. Though grateful to be alive, he never returned to Ariaria Market again because he believed whatever had happened to him was as a result of the jealousy people had towards him in that market. He said quietly to himself one day, "When your name becomes a target, even your shadow must learn to hide." He started a new life as a taxi driver, simple and peaceful. He would often tell his passengers his story, ending with a calm smile. "If not for God and a prayerful wife, I would have been history." And Eru, she became a pillar of faith in their community. Whenever people faced trouble, she would tell them, "As long as breath is still in you, hope is not lost." My name is IJ of Auntie IJ's Tales, and if you can still hear my voice, it means you watched this video to the end. You are the real VVIP. Thank you so much for your support. If you're a first-time viewer, don't go yet. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. Keep sticking with me and see you in my next video. Bye bye.